Muy buenos días. Muy buenos días. Good morning. Good morning. It is a real honor to be here with you today for this very special day. I want to recognize first some of the special guests that we have with us today. I want to thank for being possible to begin with, for the Little Village Chamber of Commerce, for the leadership and commitment to continue to fight for Little Village and the 26th Street as one of the main commercial corridors in the city of Chicago, the Little Village Community Council, See New Life, Universidad Popular, and the many other community groups that are here with us today. Thank you for being here with us. We also have some of our veterans who are here with us today, so thank you for your service and thank you for being here with us today. We have the pleasure to welcome too a representative from the General Council of Mexico. So thank you for being here with us today. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to recognize also the elected officials and Commissioner Carney, who will be speaking right after. I want to thank all the state representatives, my colleagues, Alderman Mike Rodriguez, Alderwoman Julia Ramirez, also State Representative Edgar Gonzalez, Senator Celina Villanueva, and of course our dear Mayor Brandon Johnson, who has also been supportive, and we are here today because of the work of this collaborative effort. 26th Street, Little Village, it is the heart of our Mexican and a Mexican-American community. We're proud to be here today, and thank you to everybody who has made this day possible. The landmarking of the arch is the welcoming to our community, to the 26th Street, once again, one of the main commercial corridors in the city, something that we must continue to protect, support, and expand. And this is just the beginning, I think, of many better days to come for support and investment to our community, to recognize the valuable and important contributions of our Mexican and Mexican-American communities here in the city of Chicago, a welcoming city, a central city that I'm proud to represent. Thank you for investing in our city. I'm thankful for the support, for being able to be here today in this beautiful, gorgeous day when we can say, I'm very proud to say, Viva Mexico! Y que viva Mexico! Now, I have the pleasure to introduce another leader who helped us to be here today. So I have the great pleasure to introduce Commissioner Carney, the Commissioner of Transportation in the city of Chicago. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Cicho Lopez. Good morning to everyone, and good morning to Little Village. I am Tom Carney, Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation, and it's a privilege to be here today as we celebrate the rehabilitation of the Little Village Arch. For over 30 years, this arch has stood as a proud symbol of the Little Village and Mexican community in Chicago. And since 2022, it has been recognized as an official Chicago landmark. Over time, it became clear that significant repairs and restoration were needed to preserve its significance for future generations. CDOT was proud to join the leaders here today and the community to make this restoration a reality. This landmark restoration was a meticulous process addressing many unique aspects of its design. We rehabilitated its granite bases, decorative limestone, and stucco walls. The tiled facade and clay tile roof were cleaned and replaced where needed, and every detail was carefully considered. The team collaborated with Relojas and Centenario, the original clock manufacturers from Mexico, to salvage and update elements of the Arc's iconic clock, which we are proud is now finally back in working order. We knew how important it was to approach this project with care and respect and to work closely with the people of Little Village. Thank you to Alderman Rodriguez and Alderman Cicho Lopez for their collaboration and support throughout this project. And thank you to Mayor Johnson for his leadership and continued focus on infrastructure investments that build stronger communities. Quickly, I'd like to acknowledge the hardworking team who made this project possible with incredible craftsmanship and attention to detail. The contractors Ashler Construction and Construction, Inc., project managers Frank Nelson, project engineer Jeff Moffitt, JLK Architects, architect Tim Skovic, architect Ashley Bodach. And I'd like to thank our hardworking team at CDOT, Dan Burke, Managing Deputy Commissioner and Chief Engineer, Ann Zhang, Deputy Commissioner of our Division of Engineering, Julian Silva, Program Director, Rajiv Pinto, Project Manager, and Omar Alani, Resident Engineer. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Everyone did a fantastic job. Today, as we approach Hispanic Heritage Month and prepare to celebrate Mexican Independence Day this weekend, we are thrilled to unveil the fully restored arch so it can remain a cherished part of this community for generations to come. Thank you, and it is my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Consul General of Mexico, Gerardo Guerrero. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, for your introduction. Buenos días, todos y todas. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the Consulate General of Mexico in Chicago and of our Consul General Ambassador Reina Torres, I am very proud and honored for being here to join Major Brandon Johnson. Very nice to see you, Major, and the Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation, Tom Carney, to celebrate the restoration of the Little Village Arch. We are very, very proud about this arch because this was designed by the Mexican architect. He was born in Aguascalientes, a little village in the middle of Mexico, in the middle part of Mexico country, and his name is Adrián Lozano. This arch is located precisely in one of the most iconic neighborhoods of Chicago with major Mexican presence, which is known as the Mexican capital of the Midwest, la capital mexicana del Medio Oeste de los Estados Unidos. So we are very proud. In 1991, the government of Mexico gifted to the Mexican community and the city of Chicago this wonderful bronze clock that we see at the crown of the arch. I didn't know, I have to admit that I didn't know, so I made some research about the clock. And this clock was manufactured in a Mexican factory in Mexico, but you know, this factory is located in a very, very little town in Puebla. In Puebla, some people from here are from Puebla, in a little town called Zacatlán de las Manzanas. Zacatlán de las Manzanas is a very well-known town because they grow apples and they produce this a Mexican beverage, which we use a lot, for example, in Christmas, which is called sidra. So I was very surprised to learn that this beautiful clock was produced and was manufactured precisely in Centenario Manufacturing Company in Zacatlán de las Manzanas. Este arco significa mucho para la comunidad mexicana en Chicago, porque de alguna forma es tener un pedacito de México en esta hermosa ciudad de Chicago. Ahorita que yo estaba sentado, bueno, no solamente es el ambiente de tener el arco y de que nos recuerda tantas cosas de nuestra hermosa provincia mexicana. Se puede oler, por ejemplo, el olor de las tortillas, que estaban haciendo ahorita tortillas, y ese olor se podía oler perfectamente bien. Entonces, el tener este arco aquí, para nosotros los mexicanos, es tener un pedacito de nuestra tierra aquí en los Estados Unidos. But also remind us a lot of things. Remind us how resilient our community is, and also remind us about the very important contributions that migrants bring, not just to Chicago, but also to the United States. We provide and we contribute economically, we contribute with culture, we contribute to the society of this country. So that makes us feel very, very proud of our origins. You know, it doesn't matter how many years might pass that we came here. We always keep the roots of our country. I was talking, for example, with these two gentlemen that are here, and they were showing me some pictures that they participated when the arch was built in 1990. And you know, they were not born in Mexico. They are second generations. Their grandparents were born in Mexico, and they are second generations. And they were telling me how emotive was for them to participate in the building of the arch. So doesn't matter how many years has passed that we came. We always think in our beautiful country, and we always, have very good memories of our country. So we are very proud and we are very thankful with the city of Chicago for this homage that we are making in some part to the Mexican community, because as Commissioner mentioned before, this month we are celebrating our National Day. So estamos en el 11 de septiembre y estamos en vísperas de las fiestas patrias. Por lo tanto, invitamos a toda la comunidad mexicana a que celebremos México con unidad y responsabilidad. Vamos a tener diferentes eventos a lo largo de la semana. El fin de semana vamos a tener algunos eventos el sábado. Vamos a estar, por ejemplo, en Joliet, en Waukegan, en Goshen, Indiana. En Brighton Park va a haber una noche mexicana. Y los invitamos también precisamente a que el domingo a las 12 del día nos veamos aquí en el Arco, de donde partirá el desfile de la Independencia. Y en la noche los invitamos al gran evento que tendrá lugar en Grand Park, en donde a las 8 de la noche nuestra cónsul general, la embajadora Reina Torres Mendívil, dará el tradicional grito de independencia y hará la arenga a los héroes que nos dieron patria y libertad. Entonces, muchas gracias, felices fiestas patrias y que viva México. ¡Viva! Sorry, and now it's my honor to introduce Alderman Mike Rodriguez.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Unas palabras en español brevemente, pero qué día hermosa. Tenemos sol, ninguna nube, estamos llenos de amistad y aquí estamos en el capital del medio oeste de los Estados Unidos, de los mexicanos, aquí en la calle 26, aquí con el Arco de la Villita. Y yo me da mucho orgullo ser un hijo de la Villita. Me da mucho gusto ser un hijo de los esfuerzos de nuestros antepasados y los que han estado con nosotros siendo líderes en nuestra comunidad por décadas. Gente como Elena Durán y Mike Moreno Sr. Por favor, un aplauso para ellos y los que representan estos grandes líderes de nuestra comunidad, que son ejemplos para todos nosotros. Hoy día celebramos la renovación del Arco de la Villita y estoy bien orgulloso de estar aquí en el Distrito 25, aunque no es mi distrito, es un distrito bien importante para nuestra comunidad. Y también tenemos una buena relación, que el reloj que antes estaba aquí en el Arco ya va a estar en mi distrito, el Distrito 22, en la Pulaski, en la 26, ya haciendo más unificación de las comunidades de este-oeste de la Villita. I am very, very proud to be here today in the inauguration of the Little Village Arc. And I want to recognize those who have given so much to our community and those who have given so much to this great example of our neighborhood. Mike Moreno and Elena Duran are examples of people who've lived and worked in this community for decades. Give them a round of applause. They are an example of the force that we have here in the community. They're still invested in this neighborhood. I think we also need to recognize the leadership at the time in which this arch was created. Mayor Harold Washington and then Alderman Jesus Chuy Garcia, who brought this arch to this community. Let's give both of them a great round of applause for their efforts. You know, the fact is, this arch represents resilience. It represents strength. The fact is, the business district on 26th Street, represented by the Little Village Chamber of Commerce, is the most important business district in the city of Chicago, in the Midwest United States. Isn't that right, Mayor? We are not the second magnificent mile. We are the magnificent 2 miles. Is that not right? This arch represents the strength of our business community, but it also represents the strengths of our residents. The fact is, the youngest Democrat ever elected in the state of Illinois grew up and lives 1 block from here and is with us here today, State Representative Edgar Gonzalez Jr. Our state senator grew up in this community, across the street from the largest park in this neighborhood where we met at Pachowski Park, our state senator, Celina Villanueva, who's with us here today. And we have now great friends who represent parts of this neighborhood in the 25th Ward and the 12th Ward as well. Very happy to have Julia Ramirez and Byron Sichko Lopez as champions of this community as well. And we'll hear from our mayor next, who's been very invested in our community and very invested in this arch. But also, we must recognize the very important contributions of our veterans. At the Manuel Perez Post, at the post on Hamlin Avenue there, at the Manuel Perez Jr. Plaza, they've been the backbone of our community in many ways, with leadership of Albundio Zaragoza and many others. But I have the distinct pleasure of bringing up next as a speaker an individual who helped construct this arch, who happens to be a Vietnam War veteran. Please give a warm round of applause to Ron Valtierra.
My name is Ron Valtierra. I didn't build the arch alone. My partner, Dave Ramirez. It took 2 of us.
Welcome, everyone.
Yes. Back in 1989, I believe it was, we had the opportunity to bid on this arch. And myself, as well as Dave, I was American born, American bred, raised by grandparents, adopted by grandparents that were from Irapuato, Salamanca, Guanajuato. And if it wasn't for them, I put my heart, my soul, everything into it when I had the opportunity to build this. This thing means so much to me right now. Even though I was born and bred in America, I'm proud to be an American. I'll fight for America. I did it once, I'll do it again. But it meant so much for me to build something like this, knowing that that's where my heritage is. And not only that, I brought every time my grandchildren or my daughters or my siblings come to Chicago, we always come here to eat. Because why? I am so proud of this arch. It's unbelievable. I want them to be proud of it as well. And they married not Mexicans. They married other nationalities. But nevertheless, I got them looking and acting like Viva Mexico. So that's what I had to say about this. And this was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I don't see any of the old people that I met back in 1989 to 1990. None of them. These are all brand new faces. All brand new politicians. I talked to several of them. All great personalities. That's why I can see why they were elected and they were picked, because they have the personality of politicians that can help us, the people, move forward and advance. And this here is my greatest achievement, building this arch. And I'd like my partner Dave to say a little word too.
Thank you, Ron. Welcome, everyone. Today is Patriots Day, of course, 9/11. And we'd like to welcome all of you, the city officials, the dignitaries, and of course, the mayor, Brandon Johnson. I would like to say that we really appreciate being invited to this restoration of the historical landmark. And if it wasn't for the organization that we belong to, the American Legion at the Manny Perez Post, it's a great honor to represent them, and other organizations, the VFW, which we are members of, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, also the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, and also the AMVETS organization. Those are the organizations that we belong to, and we help out the communities, whatever their needs are, and it'll go back to when we started in this community. We started here in 1980 doing restoration on homes through Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago. And everyone should know that, because I believe they're still in the community, also in the back of the yards and other communities. and I was their construction specialist at that time. And I believe I was through about 70 to 80 homes doing some rehab work, doing inspections, and working with the homeowners so they can get funding for the restoration of their homes. But also, we worked with Chuy Garcia at that time, was working with neighborhood housing. He became the alderman at that time, I believe. And we were fortunate enough to negotiate with the city of Chicago, work with the Little Village Chamber of Commerce, and working with Jesus Garcia at the time, around 1988 to 89, and working with the architect. At that time, we were able to discuss with the architect in terms of type of construction and what type of subcontractors we needed for this project, because as you can see, this is like a gateway, a thoroughfare for main traffic, and we had to do proper security and protection with scaffolding, barricades, and it was quite a project for us to get involved with. So with our experience, Ron being an infantry sniper and me working with the combat engineers in Vietnam, where I was involved with building bridges and roads and perimeter security, we got involved with this project, and we were able to discuss this with the chamber and with Jesus Garcia at the time, and we were able to negotiate, of course, a price. It was difficult because we had to deal with people in the community donating some of the supplies. So we had to have subcontractors that were able to work with us. We being the general contractor, we had to have this city certification to be able to handle this project, which at the time we were general contractors, certified with the city and also with the federal government. We're certified with the Army Corps of Engineers at that time. So Jesus felt comfortable with us handling this project, and we kind of convinced him, because we convinced him with the pricing and working with the community contractors. So that is why we're very proud to be here and representing the builders as the initial builders back 35 years ago, and it was quite a feat. And we really appreciate the restoration that they've done here. It's almost exactly as we constructed it, and I'd like to commend all the contractors that are here. You did a fantastic job, and let's give them a big hand, please. In closing, I'd just like to say it's been a few years since I've been in this area, and hopefully they have a plaque here for the restoration people and also the original construction that's going on. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Muy buenos días y muchísimas gracias a los veteranos. Demos un fuerte aplauso una vez más. Muchas gracias por su contribución. Y ahora tengo el orgullo de presentar a nuestro alcalde, el alcalde de la ciudad y el alcalde de la villita. Tengo el orgullo de presentar a nuestro alcalde, el alcalde Brandon Johnson. Muchas gracias, alcalde.
Wow, good morning, Little Village. Oh man, come on, it's a great morning. Good morning, thank you so much, you all, for being here. Thank you to Alderman Sigcho Lopez, Mike Rodriguez, and Julio Ramirez, and to State Representative Gonzalez and Senator Villanueva. Thank you all for your incredible leadership. Of course, Tom Carney, appreciate your leadership and everything that you have done. You know, I will just say this, you know, Ron and David, I don't know about you all, but they need their own show, don't they? We got to take Ron and David on the road. Let's give it up again for Ron and David for their leadership, incredible people. Yeah, I can tell. David voted for me. I can tell. David said, he said all these great personalities. Well, appreciate that. But I'm also grateful for the Deputy Council, Gerardo Gomez. Thank you. Of all those who spoke Spanish today, I understood his the best. something like we gonna party from Joliet to Brighton Park or something like that. So thank you for your leadership. And then, really, Ronald Baltiera and David Ramirez, thank you both again. And to the contractors, JOK Architects, Ash Laor Construction and Construction Incorporated. And of course, a special thanks to Jesus Chuy Garcia, Congressman Garcia. It's good to know that Ron and David knew him before he was Chuy. He just kept saying Jesus. We're like, who is that? But Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia has been just an incredible leader over the course of decades in this city. And the 3 decades that this arch has proudly welcomed residents and visitors to Little Village. The largest Mexican and Mexican-American community in the entire Midwest. What an incredible marker for who we are as a city, where we have that unique position as the largest space in the Midwest. When this arch was rightfully named a historic landmark in 2022, the city and this community took great care to repair and beautify it to its original state. This arch is a symbol of Little Village's culture, people, and what I like to call the soul of who we are. It is important that this arch stands the test of time, and of course, we have to remain proud because it is a representation of Chicago's Mexican community. And furthermore, this beloved clock that was gifted to Chicago in '91 by the Mexican government in recognition of our growing Mexican population, it has been salvaged, of course, and updated for the first time in years. And then, of course, I believe it actually shows the correct time. Is that right? All right, so we have the correct time. That's something to clap about. We're all on time now. But this is really a huge thanks to Relojas Centenariero, if I say that right, and the original Mexican clock manufacturer. Furthermore, I'm really excited about the fact that the lighting here has been upgraded with energy-efficient LED bulbs, with more fixtures added to illuminate this landmark, which is its right. The project also includes civil work to replace nearby sidewalks, pavements, and planters. It's the full beautification that we're bringing to this moment, to this beloved community. And of course, in the new trellis that has been made identical to its original steel bearers of the message, Bienvenidos. Hold on. Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. Okay, don't be yelling at me. I'm just trying. Thank you. You maybe had a flashback to Mr. Ragoni, who said, Brandon, you have to take Spanish seriously because one day you're going to be the mayor of Chicago. No, he didn't say that. But to this continuous welcoming community, really, it's an incredible community. I mean, I don't think we can emphasize that enough, and I'm proud that we got this done in Little Village, and for all of the residents and the visitors who want to experience the culture and the beauty of this community. My administration will continue to invest. My administration will continue to invest in the strength and vibrancy of Little Village and all of our Mexican communities across the city of Chicago. We recognize and honor the diversity as our strength that makes Chicago the greatest city in the world. And Chicago's Mexican community enriches and strengthens our city in so many different ways. And so we look at the fact that, as Alderman Rodriguez has indicated, 26th Street commercial corridor right here in Little Village is the most significant retail district in Chicago, along with Michigan Avenue. Did I do the politics right on that one? It's like, all right. But seriously, this ribbon cutting comes just in time as we celebrate the Mexican Independence Day and the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. As we cut this ribbon in honor of this restored arch, we are celebrating not just with pride, but we're celebrating with purpose. This is a time to recognize all the ways that Chicago's Mexican community has enriched our lives in this city. It's time to honor the leaders, the educators, the activists, the entrepreneurs, the workers, and so many others who have shaped Chicago coming from this very community. So let us honor the past and our rich cultural heritage while building for the future for all of our people. Whether you are born here, whether you come here from another country, the people of Chicago will embrace the globe and we will make sure that you thrive in the greatest freaking city in the world. We will always be a welcoming space. This is a love story of a black immigrant Haitian man who fell in love with a Potawatomi woman and set up a trade post at the banks of the river because he knew that this place would be the global capital of the world right here in Little Village. Amen? And so from the south side to the northwest side, Belmont Cragen to Rogers Park, we make sure that Mexican heritage is seen and celebrated, and today and every day. And so now before we cut the ribbon, I have the incredible honor in presenting Ronald Battiera and David Ramirez with a proclamation in honor of their contribution to our city. Ron and David and so many fellow Chicagoans who have served our nation in the armed forces during the Vietnam War and many other conflicts around the globe. When they returned home, they went into their careers that they enjoyed as construction and architect workers. And they did something that has lasted and will last the test of time well beyond their time on earth. And so for their service, not just to this country, but their service to this community, it is truly my honor as we work to build a better, stronger, brighter future, as we celebrate Mexican, Hispanic Heritage Month, as we celebrate Mexican independence today. I want you all to know how much I appreciate you, and gracias a todos y viva Mexico. Ron and David, come on. Y'all clap it up for Ron and David.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's get a picture here. Where's my dad? Here. I'm gonna stand this. All right, let's go cut a ribbon. All right.
Okay. Can I say one more thing, Mayor?
You sure can. You have my permission.
Okay. Well, Mayor, Dave and I built this arch back in 1990, and for the longest time, they said, you guys did a beautiful job. The clock don't work. Thank God it's working. We didn't put the clock in.